Hello, and welcome to this. I think this is week 11, class number 11 that I've done with midweek manifestation. So happy to have you here. We have a lot of new people here live because they want to take advantage of this 8-8 portal, as it's called, all across the internet. Not much to do with astrology because the Gregorian calendar is a bit arbitrary. It it's not in sync with the heavens. So the sun is actually at a different degree of Leo on the same date that it would have been last year because the heavens have their own thing that they're doing, moved by the will of the gods. And here on Earth, we just created a calendar and we just hit and put numbers on there. So this has everything to do with numerology. The astrology is, of course, at play here. Today we have Mercury and Venus conjunct. We have the Sun and Jupiter in sextile. So we have fantastic energy in today for grounding and reflecting on what we want to create. A ton of astrologers all across the internet are saying your exes are going to come back, which, yeah, is very likely during this retrograde conjunct Venus. But it's really a reflective time, and it is a time for you to look at the past and look what has been and to go, okay, that's been the result of past karma, past actions, past perceptions and attitudes, and even unknown causes, right? Those things that just you didn't intend to happen at all, but you had to greet it on your life journey here. And this is about moving forward from the heart. So in today's class, we're going to deal with the 888 portal. We're going to talk about it and how you can use it. Then I'm going to give you a catered affirmation, which will really help you tune into the vibration of abundance and self-worth and joy. And then I'm going to talk about how to anchor that in and keep that vibration and mindset to make it a part of your nature because it already is. Then I have some amazing things to share. I have a poem. I got all kinds of stuff for you today. You can watch this recording on my YouTube. It's a private link for this playlist of videos, and you get all of them as thanks for being here. This group is closed to the people who donate $8.88 just to keep it sacred. Giving starts the process of receiving. So I notice the people who donate tend to get a lot more out of these classes because they gave something in return. And if you just appreciate this and if you want to send me love, you can donate, and that allows this to even be possible. That's the whole reason I am able to take time out of the middle of the week to do this. So if you want to show gratitude, thank you so much for donating. I really appreciate you. And so we're dealing with the heart as well. We're in Leo season. Leo is the only sign that rules the heart, and it's ruled by the sun. And this shows that without the heart, we have nothing. Without the sun, we have no astrology, no reality. The only reason we're all here is because we can see that we're here. The reason we see we're here is because of the sun. The sun is the light. And if the light, or what is that verse? If the eye be single, then the whole body will be full of light. And so there's an I within you. And it's actually the I that you use when you say I am. And that I am is the source of everything. Everything you could ever want and not want, everything that you could ever be. It comes from that spring of I within. And whatever you put after I am, whatever you say you are, that is the most natural thing in the world for you to be. And from that being establishes this magnetic vortex, which brings everything to you. I am somebody who can't imagine um, tolerating certain things in relationship that others are able to tolerate. For one example, I am somebody, Christian Klausner, who could never be in a relationship with a narcissist because as soon as I get a whiff of it, I'm going to kick you out of my life. I don't have time or space for that. I love you. I love all the narcissists in the world. They need love more than anybody else, but there's no way I could romantically connect with that energy. And that proceeds because of my I. That's who I am. If I did notice I was in a relationship with a narcissist, I would go, whoa, my I is in vibration. It's in harmony with narcissism energy. So I would immediately look within, not blame the narcissist. I would look at myself and say, what is congruent within me that harmonizes with that? And now I'm dealing with the source and with the cause, and now I can change my life. If people understood this, that they hold the power, they would stop giving power away, they would stop blaming, being a victim, and they would be able to find out what's at the heart of this lesson here that causes them to attract narcissism. So we attract all the things in our life that we have, And as soon as we just come from that assumption, things can start to get better because now you have the power back in your hands. It's hard to accept, and I understand that. And I understand how it can come across as heartless because there's suffering in the world, and no part of us intended to have that suffering there that we're conscious of. But it's just a general underlying assumption. Okay, if I attract everything into my life and I'm the one who attracting it, then maybe I have the power to change what I'm attracting. That's what I want to kind of instill in you today, is that you do in fact have the power. And so that's number one. Here with the 888 day, here's an interesting thing. 3, 6, and 9. Nikola Tesla said that those are very profound numbers that we need to understand. And that when you understand the universe operates in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy, you'll understand the secrets to the laws of the universe. So I don't have time to fully go into numerology here, but what you need to know about 3, 6, and 9 is that these are very potent creative numbers. It's actually insane when we really get into it, and maybe we'll get into it next class. But here's an interesting thing. Take any sequence of numbers by 3. So we'll start with 111. That adds up to 3. In numerology, we call it reduce. We reduce it to its number. So your life path number is your birthday. So if it's August 8th, 1990, you would take all those numbers and add them all up and then reduce it. So if they add up to, let's say, 35, you would take the 3 and the 5 and reduce, you would add those, and that reduces down to 8. So your life path is 8. That's how we do it. So the sequence of 3 is really interesting because watch this. 111, that's 3. 222, that's 6. 333, that's 9. 369. Okay, let's do 444. That adds up to 12, which reduces to 3. 555, 15, reduces to 6. 666, that reduces to 9. 369, just repeated. You think that'll keep happening? 777 reduces to 3. 888 reduces to 6. 999 reduces back to 9. 369, 369, 369. Whenever we have it in the sequence of 3. That's fascinating. So that is revealing a numerological law that 3 is a number of creation. So with this 888 portal, because 2024 reduces to 8, we're in an 8 year, it's the year of the dragon. This is such a charged year of potency to make money, to tap into abundance. And the Chinese zodiac is a legit thing. And some say that the dragon year is the enemy year for all the other animals. So we're in just intense energy right now, and we could really see how and where we become our own worst enemy. And that dragon in all ancient mythology is always that lower self within, which sabotages you. And here's one grounded way that it sabotages you. As soon as you stress and strain, which is usually out of a good intention, but as soon as that happens, it causes you to overheat. And now that you're overheating, like if you're a computer, the computer starts shutting down. It can't run programs as efficiently. It has to kick up some power to the fans so that the fans can cool it. That's the same exact thing that happens in your body. Once stress activates, the body has to activate other things to compensate for that stress. And now what takes place is you have less energy for creative impulses, to see the creative solutions, to act from a higher place, and to even see what your options could be in the moment, or that could lead you to greater opportunities. So I really see it here as my number one priority as a human being in this vessel, to make sure that I'm not stressing. That's not exactly easy because I have goals, aspirations, I have larger than life drives with my sun square Pluto. I have things I really want to do here, right? And it's hard for me to be content with where I'm at. But I still see it as my priority to embody that contentment, to imagine what is the ideal Christian Klausner that I want to be, and to see that vision, and then to embody that now, to place my I am inside of that vision now. Or in other words, to put that vision into my I am, into my heart. Your I am comes from the heart. It's said in some ancient scriptures that the word proceeds from the heart, and through meditation, you can observe this. It proceeds from the heart, vibrates the vocal cords, and then exits through your mouth. But it actually comes from the heart. All things come from the heart. So let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is so cool. This is from the HeartMath Institute. HeartMath. They do some good work over there. They're really going to change the world, I believe. All right. So, Le HeartMath Institute. You guys can see this okay, I hope. Let me know in the chat if you cannot see it. These are some amazing things about the heart, just to get you inspired about that little thing that you have beating in your chest there. It's really quite magical. It's so amazing that we have it. The mysteries of the heart. So here's a tidbit. Research explains how the physical and energetic heart plays an extraordinary role in our lives. So we have the physical heart, but then we have the energetic heart, which extends far beyond the limits of your physical body. It can it's actually non-localized because it's at the center and its circumference is everywhere. And wherever you are, that is the center of the universe, and it's connected to all centers in the universe everywhere. So it's non-localized. So you could reach to the heart of somebody on the other side of the planet in China and send them love. The heart has really no limits thanks to its spiritual nature. Here's another tidbit. Our heart rhythms affect the brain's ability to process information. That's what I'm talking about. When I say you get into stress, you have just fuzzed up your manifestation. You've just made the connection between the thing you want and who you are currently to just get all fuzzled, and you just messed up that straight line straight to it, which is relaxing towards it. It's the easiest thing in the world for you to have that, because having that is who you are. Kind of like the I am, right? That I am, it's impossible for me to, I don't even run into narcissists. That's how much like I just repel them. I don't even see them. I hear about them all the time, but it's like, where are they? They don't even come into my field of awareness. I don't attract them at all because of the I am. So the heart has 40,000 sensory neurons involved in relaying ascending information to the brain. That means the heart is its own brain. The heart thinks, and the heart thinks in a much more powerful way than the brain, because it thinks holistically. It thinks artistically, symbolically. That's why symbols are so powerful. 8 is a symbol. It's infinity sign. Okay? And 888 adds up to 6. 6 is the pregnant number. She's got a pregnant belly there. 2, the 6 is Cancer, that symbol of Cancer, which is all about giving and receiving. That's what Cancer really wants to do. And this 888 energy is energy that allows you to get pregnant with something. And the thing I'm going to impregnate you with here today is the vibration of abundance. Okay, so the heart, maybe they're going to say this down here, but this is a true fact. The heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. Just think about that. The heart has more to tell the brain than the brain ever has to tell the heart. So if you don't tune into the heart, you're lacking that real pivotal information that you need to know. And the only way to access, and we'll do heart-brain entrainment here today in this class. I'll show you how to do it. The human heart's magnetic field can be measured several feet away from the body. It's like 100 or so times, or I can't remember. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 100. I can't remember, but it's much larger than the brain, the magnetic field that it creates. The heart has neurites. It has its own nervous system, says Isabel. Very interesting. Negative emotions can create nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. So one of the best ways to get really good at manifesting here is to get really good at feeling good. Okay? So I hope this gives you a new lens at life. Like, wow, one of the most important things for you to do is to feel good. And not in an overindulgent way, not in an escapist way. That's that fine balance, which will actually require skill, where you still show up to work on time, but you're relaxed and you're happy and you're feeling from the place of your desires. So that's the big shift here, is that we talk about every week, is the difference between thinking of the end and thinking from the end. So I'm doing my best to think from, to act from this place of who my ideal self would be. Positive emotions can increase the brain's ability to make good decisions. Your decision making will improve, which means your opportunities will increase because you're acting on them now and you're taking those actions that will actually lead you to them. In fetal development, the heart forms and starts beating before the brain begins to develop. The heart is like, I think, the first thing to form and the last thing to die. So the heart is literally the source of you. You can boost your immune system by focusing on positive emotions. Another thing I've realized is just as we would have no sun, no astrology without the sun, no universe without the sun, the heart is a portal to the cosmos. So the more I've tuned into the heart, the more I deeply understand the symbols behind astrology. The more astrology really just makes sense as a psychological system of understanding our spiritual anatomy, our psychological anatomy. So the heart is definitely a portal for you to understand some of the mysteries of the universe that cannot ever be put into language. A mother's brainwaves can synchronize to her baby's heartbeats even when they're a few feet apart. There's been a lot of amazing research done showing how my heart rhythm will affect your heart rhythms, and even how they link up between ourselves and our pets. It's very interesting how this occurs. Did you know the heart has a brain of its own? Dr. J. Andrew Armour introduced the term heart brain in 1991. Armour showed that the heart's complex nervous system qualified it as a little brain. The heart brain, like the brain proper, has an intricate network of neurons, neurotransmitters, proteins, and support cells, and it can act independently of the cranial brain and has extensive sensory capacities. The heart still has many mysteries that we have not fully solved. Scientists at the Institute of Heart Math have conducted research on emotional energetics, coherence, heart-brain connection, heart intelligence, and practical intuition. A lot of people say, Christian, why are you so smart? And I say, I'm not. I really don't feel like I am. I can see that I'm intelligent, but I really think that comes from my open heart because I don't really view myself as this intelligent guy. I have days where I'm like, why would anybody listen to me about anything? I don't know anything. I know nothing. And then my heart steps in and reminds me, Christian, that's why you're so wise. Because at the base, I feel like I know nothing. I'm very curious. But I think that what the research is showing is that that's one of the quickest ways to intelligence is to be emotionally healthy, well emotionally regulated, and to really connect to the heart. So the heart sends signals to the brain that can influence our perception, our emotional experience, and our higher mental processes. The three key things you're going to need to manifest the life that you want. A clear perception, because your perception is the window to the world. If that window is all dirty, the world looks dirty. Emotional experience. That's what provides the value judgments to your experiences, you know? That's why you remember certain movies because they're the movies that emotionally impacted you. Emotion is tied to memory. Oh, I really remember that experience. Why? Because of how it affected me emotionally. And then higher mental processes, which is the ability to see things from a bird's eye view or an angel's eye view. These are all going to be essential when it comes to getting yourself into the timeline that you actually want to exist in. Hopping over to that alternate reality, which exists now, which is where you are who you want to be. Because who you want to be has all the things that you want to have. Okay? So your heart emits an electromagnetic field that changes according to your emotions. Others can pick up the quality of your emotions through the electromagnetic energy radiating from your heart. People pick up how you feel, and you transmit the way you feel, which infects other people. A lot of us want to make the world a better place, but we're not starting where we could actually achieve that, which is within our own hearts. If you feel more joy, you're increasing the joy in the world. If you want the world to be joyful, the first step to that is making you joyful and really making that a priority. If you prioritize it, you will do it. Heart-brain factoids. The heart has a system of neurons that have both short and long-term memory. The heart remembers. And the signals they send out to the brain can affect our emotional experiences. The heart sends more information to the brain than the brain sends to the heart. I told you that one. Coherent heart rhythms help the brain in creativity and innovative problem solving. So you're going to have the right ideas that'll improve the quality of your life as you connect to your heart. These ideas will just come to you. Impulses will come to you. Spontaneous actions will move through you, and they will move you spontaneously, naturally, and easily toward the life that you most desire. So we're going to get into some heart coherence here very shortly. The Institute of HeartMath's applied research is solution-oriented. They're amazing. So yeah, they're actually improving people's lives in measurable ways through heart coherence. Are you excited? We're going to do that together now because I want you to feel it. I want to guide you into it so that you can feel it and anchor it in. Okay, cool. So again, much love to the HeartMath Institute. Love them so much. All right, let's do some heart-brain coherence, and then I'll get into I'll get into my presentation. The key frequency is 1 hertz. Yeah. There are some amazing videos you can find on YouTube. If you type in heart-brain coherence, the first few that pop up are the ones that I use. It's just so amazing. And you could wear some headphones there and it'll give you some brain waves that help encourage this process of you entering into the heart. And as you enter into the heart, you will break through to new levels of appreciation and joy and just the sense that you're taken care of. And that'll change everything. You know, it's your assumptions that really change the structure of your posture and how you hold yourself and the structure of everything. You know, when you walk into a room and you assume that people are going to love you, you find out that people love you as you move into that room. If you walk into a room and you assume people are going to not like you, then it's, you know, that will, of course, change all your energy. It'll change the way people respond to you because it's changing the way that you show up. So our assumptions will have a lot to do with that inner I am there too. Okay, heart-brain coherence. Let's do it. Just 3 minutes of this will affect you for 6 hours or more. So it really doesn't take much. We'll just do about maybe 1 minute here together. And there's just 3 simple steps to this. Step 1, straighten your spine if you can in a very relaxed, upright way. Very relaxed, but upright. So that your belly is not crunched because we want that diaphragm to be free to open and so that the breath can come in at the deepest level. And so step 1 is to breathe easily, naturally, and slowly. So you want to take a deep breath in through the nose, filling it up all the way to the top, giving a little thank you for the breath at the top, and then breathe out through the mouth very, very slowly. The key to this is to have the out breath be very slow because you only breathe that way when you're safe. So you're effectively telling your body, we're safe. And the body's saying, oh, yay. Oh, good. That's good. So take another deep breath in through the nose. The nose has a perfect filter. You want air to go in through the nose as best you can. And then breathe out through the mouth as though you're blowing through a straw. That will allow you to make the breath go very slow. And then from there, just allow the breath to happen naturally and easily in the way that it is meant to, but just try and intend that it gets a little slower. So step 1 to heart-brain coherence is slow breath. Step 2 is to center your awareness into your heart. Just bring your attention to the heart center. The heart sits at the center of your chest, behind the breastbone, and it's tilted slightly to the left. That's why you feel it more on the left side. So just bring your awareness to the heart. In the Upanishads, it says that there is a tiny point of light within the heart. The teeniest, tiniest little point of light, which is your spiritual seed of self in the heart. So you could imagine that there's a microscopic pinpoint of light in the heart. The smaller you imagine it, the more humble it is, and the more focused your consciousness will get into that heart center. And from there, you can let it radiate and grow as big as you like. I like extending to the ends of the cosmos. But just be with that cute little heart there in the center of your chest, continuing to breathe naturally, easily, and slowly. Step 3 is we want to include the generation of a regenerative emotional state. And those are as follows: compassion, gratitude, appreciation, love. Any of them. Generate gratitude for your body. Oh, I'm so glad I have this healthy body, this beautiful body. or gratitude for your house, for the walls around you, the roof, gratitude for the chair underneath your booty, gratitude for the food that is in your belly or in your fridge. Just gratitude, gratitude for life, appreciating even the breath. Whatever you can bring gratitude for, bring it to that and increase it. And now grow it 10 times. 10 times more grateful. Think of everything you would do to get it if you didn't have it. Whatever it is you're thinking of that you're grateful for. Your family, friends, money you do have. And this is gratitude amplifies whatever you become grateful for, so we get more of it. So whatever we want to manifest, we should start with gratitude for what we currently have. Okay? And so now with these 3 steps all together, your slower breathing, your awareness at your heart, and this feeling of gratitude, compassion, love, acceptance, appreciation, you just want to sustain that. Sustain all 3. Slow breathing, heart-centered awareness, and gratitude, love, compassion. And just sustain that with your breath, breathing in through the portal of your heart and breathing out through the heart as though you're breathing the universe in through your heart. And then breathing out love and appreciation. Just sustain that. Now your heart and your brain are coherent. Amazing. So, got to keep moving on here. I have a client to meet with after this, so we got to keep going. So just maintain that heart coherence as much as you can as you continue to listen to and see my presentation here. So your heart has all the answers. It's hard to trust that because we're addicted to the mind. We're just so addicted to our thoughts. It's just so addicting. Literally as addicting as that soap opera that you can't stop watching, or those cigarettes you just can't stop huffing on, or that chocolate ice cream in the fridge that you know you just eat a little too much of at night. Our thoughts are just as addicting, if not more addicting, than any of those things I just listed off. Because the soap opera operates through that language, which the mind operates off of. And it generates just as much dopamine as the chocolate or the cigarettes. And so we're addicted to this chattering mind. And as soon as we come into an acceptance with that, now we can see what's actually going on here. We have an unhealthy relationship to our mind as a society in general, because it's a logical left brain masculine imbalance. So we're coming back into balance. Our test in this beginning age of Aquarius and where we're at currently, why we're all here, is to make sure that the balance doesn't go too far. Because for the first time in our history, as far as I'm aware, we're seeing a left-wing liberal socialist party develop. In our recent past, we saw a right-wing socialist party develop, which, was catastrophic for the world. So now we're seeing a left-wing version. So the feminine energy is definitely coming back to bring us into balance. The issue is with human beings, it's hard for us to balance. So, as soon as we start to go that way, we go, whoa, and then we overcompensate, and then we fall that way. Same thing with a car. Like once you start to spin out, it's that overcompensation on the steering wheel that will cause you to flip. So we're at a state in our history where we just have to make sure we don't flip this whole thing over because it's about to flip. And the only way we don't let it flip is if we come into balance easily, harmoniously, and gently. If we can do that, we're going to pass the test. It'll be amazing age up ahead of it for us, as far as I can see. And the thing that knows how to be in balance is the heart. It's the heart. We have to listen to the heart. I'm a true big believer, and I'm preaching it more and more right now, that if we want to avoid World War III, the solution lies in accessing our hearts, each of us as individuals, which will encourage naturally and energetically, non-verbally, everyone around us to enter into the heart. And then once we have the heart, then all the soldiers all around the world will have this intuitive sense that we can't kill each other. We just can't do it. And they won't do it. And that's how we save ourselves. I really think we need to access the heart. So here's how manifestation works. You can check out Legendary DJ. He's a very interesting, amazing guy on YouTube. This is from him, this diagram here. This is how it works. We have a concept of self. That's a conceptual sense. We have a concept of our desire and of us as a self when we have that desire. Then on the bottom, we have an intuitive feeling sense. We know we want it because of the feeling. And that's all we want. We don't want the soulmate. We want the feeling that having that soulmate in our lives would bring. We don't want money. Money is useless. We want the feeling that the money will bring, the sense of security, of ease, of freedom, that sense of I don't have to worry about money anymore. That's what we want. We want the feeling. Then we have a concept of it. And those two overlap to create the context, which is your identification phenomena, the contextual sense of this is who I am, this is who I will be when I have what I want. So that's kind of how it's working here. And again, this third thing only exists when these two overlap. So it's kind of like it creates this third divine thing. All right. So the goal, here's what I want to instill into you. Your goal when you wake up first thing in the morning, if you want to have what you want, the goal is to center yourself in the easiest, most natural place there is for you to be. I am. So what would that feel like right now? What would that look like if you just got into a state of being, which is the easiest place for you to be, and approach it as though this is the easiest thing in the world to accomplish? That technique there will change everything for you. And Neville Goddard talks a lot about this as well, that getting into this I am state, which emanates from your heart, so you can tune into the center of who you are, who you truly are. Approach this as though it's the easiest, most natural thing to do in the world. Because if you're approaching your meditations and your visualizations with effort, you might want to try a different approach, because this is the most easy, natural thing to do in the world. Just as when you have those millions of dollars in the bank, it's just the most easy, natural thing ever. You'll just look back and be like, that was so amazing how everything just conspired together to get me there, you know? And you'll look back at that memory of that place where when you thought of millions, you just were like, there's no way, because it was just so foreign to you. But the you that exists with those millions, that's the most natural thing in the world. That's why you have it. Because the universe gives to you whatever you expect, whatever you require, whatever you find the most natural and easy thing to have. The universe has laws where the water runs down to find its level. So it's going to reach your level and it's going to pour down into you easily and naturally. And it comes through the I am. Okay. So that's kind of the goal here. Here's this week's big question. This is my big manifestation question. What if you acted as though you were the best at what you do, at being who you are, that nobody can be a better you? I mean, that's a fact. We all know that here. You know that. But what if you acted as if you were the best? What if you acted as if you were the best partner anyone could really truly have? That you have the most warm, consistent, nurturing, healthy love of anyone that anyone has to offer. How would you move through the grocery store differently? As you go down that aisle and you see somebody who catches your eye, do you think you would look at him a little longer or smile a little more confidently? Do you think your swagger would be different as you just move through your world? This is my big question for you. What if? What if you acted as if you were the best at your job, the best employee they could possibly have? What if you knew that in your heart? And what if you acted as if that? And again, this wouldn't be arrogance, especially if you're connecting with your heart. The heart doesn't know how to be arrogant. The heart doesn't see separation anywhere. It sees wholeness. It sees things holistically. So it would naturally still be tuned into reality. It would still be humble. It would still be attractively modest. It would still be all these amazing virtues and qualities which issue out from the heart, which are written on the heart as its nature. So what if? That's my big question for you. What if? How would your life look different if you acted as if? Still with the humility, knowing that you can only do what you can do, you know? So still grounded, still in touch, But what if you acted as if you were the best? How would that change how you get on a call with a client or how you send that email to close the sale? Just think about that. That's my big question for you. Okay, here's some affirmations for 8/8/24, which 2024 reduces to 8. So this is the 888 portal, which hits tomorrow. Here's your affirmation for it. I attract wealth, money, and abundance. I attract it. That's the first one to write down. You attract it. It comes to you. It comes to you. It pursues you. I attract wealth, money, and abundance because we could all use a bit more of that. And I want you to think about that there is an infinite supply. And I want you to know that. All right. There's so much money going around. And you really need to, I need to evaluate my beliefs around money because I'm traditionally somebody who hates money. All right. I don't like it. But I'm learning to like it more. I'm seeing it as an extension of my spiritual self, as an extension of love, because I'm seeing the ways that I use money. It blesses the people in my life. It blesses me. It increases blessings. So therefore it's from God. And I only want God's money. I don't want no dirty money. I want God's money. And God has an infinite supply of money for me and for you and for everyone. You know, they're just printing money. Of course, you know that. They're just printing and printing and printing. Billions of dollars, trillions of dollars. There's so much. Get rid of that belief that, oh, everything I have takes away from somebody else. Not so. Not so. In fact, I have a verse here for you from one of the Dead Sea Scrolls about that. But here's another one for you to write down and to embody and to feel it in your heart. I claim and call to me all divine inheritance through grace, harmony, forgiveness, and love, which guides me every step of the way. This is to instill in you that you have made the decision, the intention to call it into being. It is what you require. You don't need it, but you require it. The universe shies away from needy energy. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. There's some people who thrive off that, but in relationship, especially, as soon as somebody gets needy with you, do you notice how it's your instinct to want to close off? Because it's human instinct to close off from people who need. That's unfortunate, but that is what it is. Because that's just how it is. There's many reasons for it psychologically and evolutionarily, but you know, that's how it is. But people who come into our life with the sense that, hey, I have something to contribute, something to provide. I have something to share. We open to that. That could change everything for you with a job interview. You know, if you show up to the job with this sense of, this is what I can bring to the company, as opposed to, I really need this job. It's a whole different quality of energy there. So we're saying, hey, universe, hello, God, I'm claiming and calling to me all that is my divine inheritance. You know, everything that comes to you, all the energy in your body is inherited. It's given. It's a gift. We can't create energy. We can't destroy energy. The energy that exists in the universe now is the energy that's always existed forever. It's infinite and it's flowing. And so this 8 here, that infinite flow, the infinity symbol, is about everything I receive, I inherit it. So you're calling your divine inheritance, which could be all the money in the world, all the love in the world, in your relationships, whatever it is you want, through grace. So how are we calling it in? Through grace, through harmony, through forgiveness and love. These are the qualities we're employing. These are the qualities we're feeling more and more of, and these are the qualities we're practicing. So this is an affirmation which says, hey, God, this is what I bring. And as I bring these qualities into my world, I call into, you know, as a trade, because you only get what you give, you only receive what you give. So I claim and call these things through these qualities, through my grace that I give to others, giving others grace when they screw up, when they mess up, you go, hey, it's okay. You don't beat them up. You give them the grace that you would like to have if you were in their scenario. Through harmony. If somebody is in disharmony, you can be in harmony. And that's the quickest way to get them out of your life, to have a strong boundary, is, hey, I'm not going to fall into your disharmony. I'm going to maintain harmony, which naturally repels all disharmony. Forgiveness. Forgiving others when they do wrong to you. You're forgiving their debts, a debt they can never pay back. And in the same way, all your debts will be forgiven. All the debts of all those long nights when you should have been sleeping, getting your beauty rest, that's a debt. All those debts that you paid, that your stomach has to pay because you took antibiotics, which destroyed your gut flora, or because you ate those foods that you know are not good. Those are debts. Those debts can be forgiven. That's what we call a miracle, but it's really just divine law. Your debts will be forgiven. The ways that you cheated others emotionally or mentally, those debts can be forgiven, but you have to forgive the debts that are owed you, because as you give, you receive. This is why it's so important to forgive. I don't know how we can achieve our best life because I know so many examples of celebrities, of millionaires, billionaires who, are who unalive themselves in their Bugatti, their Lamborghini, whatever that car is called, their Lamborghini, they're still unhappy. So clearly it's not about the fame. It's not about the money. It's about the inner state within. If you don't forgive your parents who did their best and whoever else you have aught against, I don't know how you can come into divine perfect peace and harmony, because I never had peace until I forgave my parents. I was an angry, conflicted young man. I could never relax. I never had peace. I never knew peace. I actually thought peace was not possible in this world. I thought, yeah, peace is a wonderful ideal, but I think that's for heaven. I think this is just a world of just suffering and conflict. But now I'm a witness to that that's not true. You can have peace in this world because you have a heart. And once peace comes from within, we'll have peace without heaven on earth. That's our destiny here, but it's an inner journey, and the way there is within. And so we have to forgive all, because I'm telling you as a witness who was an angry young man, and now it's just peace in my heart. Whoever hurt you, you have to forgive them, because you will see, if you can see that they can't help it because you can't help it sometimes, you know, when that anger turns on or whatever, that's a spirit activating and you can't help it. That's the same thing that was driving your parents. They couldn't help it. They could not help it. They didn't have the consciousness to not help it, because if they could have helped it, they would have. If you could help yourself, you would. You would. You would make that choice. But we don't always have that choice. So forgiveness is the first step. And that will really free you in all the ways you need to be free. See who you're not forgiving, forgive them. And that same grace that you give will come back to you, and it'll be so amazing. I claim and call to me all divine inheritance through grace, harmony, and forgiveness and love, which guides me every step of the way. This is a verse from the Essene Gospel of Peace. This is a book I highly, highly recommend. This is such a crazy scripture. This is where Jesus talks about the Divine Mother. You need this book. And it may trigger the heck out of you. It's got some very intense parables in there, but in a good way, in a good way. It really grounds you into this reality. And it's really everything that the modern Christian church is lacking. They're lacking the connection to their body. They think, oh, we can eat McDonald's every day especially after church on Sundays, because it's the flesh that we have to subdue and we're meant for the next world. It's like, oh, I think we're wrong on that one. I think that's incorrect. These scriptures talk about how there is a glow that comes through the physical vessel the more we align with spirit. It's so amazing. Yeah, I want you to read it on your own. But here is the verse that says, "For I tell you truly, the God of the living is richer than all the rich of the earth, and his abundant table is richer than the richest table of feasting of all the rich upon the earth. Eat, therefore, all your life at the table of our earthly mother." So if that doesn't evoke this response within you, I don't know what will, but just know in your heart that our God, which is the God of the living, the God of life, which is the heart, is richer than all the riches of the earth, more rich than you can fathom. There's an infinite supply, and it's all there for you. And there's more than, it's not possible to run out or to even see one diminishing of the supply if you were to enjoy all that you could enjoy. Okay? Here's another verse. "Rejoice, therefore, always with God's angels at their royal table, for this is pleasing to the heart of the Lord." and your life will be long upon the earth. For the most precious of God's servants will serve you all your days, the angel of joy. And so he talks about the four elements. He talks about the angel of water, the angel of air, the angel of fire, and the angel of earth, and how we can commune with these earthly angels. And then he says how there's unknown angels, just as the earthly mother reveals these angels of the four elements to you. There are angels of the heavenly Father, which are spiritual, which are unknown, which minister to you as you sleep. And that ties into the unconscious mind, the fact that there is a part of you that you don't know, that you don't know, that you can never know, and it is preparing you for the spirit world. Just as the earthly mother prepares our physical body through clean food, clean air, clean water, and praying and fasting if we need to, the Heavenly Father, the Spirit, does these same things while we sleep, while we dip our psyche into the unconscious realm as our body slumbers. Okay? So rejoice and eat at the table and have a lot of fun. Okay, so one last thing to share here, and then we're done with this video. And it's a poem. And this is just to help you enter into the heart, because in the heart, it's not all just sunshines and rainbows. The heart knows how to directly confront suffering and how to be present with it and to allow it. There's a lot that takes place in our minds, which is invested in looking away from the suffering, or when we look into the suffering, to look at it with all our humanity. And if we could just look at it purely and maybe even divorce it from our humanity and just see it as it is, we might see that everything is unfolding perfectly. And that when the mind hears that and looks upon the suffering, it goes, what's wrong with you? It throws a judgment. So we have to watch this. This is what takes a lot of skill spiritually to be able to get to this place. How do we have peace in this world? It's like a riddle. It's like a paradox. So let me just read from you. This is from Ram Dass, and this is Ram Dass reading a poems. Okay, so this is a lecture from Ram Dass, and you can find this lecture on YouTube. It's called, if you want to watch it on your own, it's called How to Keep Your Heart Open in Hell by Ram Dass. He says, one of the things that has changed me is that I have begun to fall in love with the universe. And it's hard to talk about that. Let me read to you two poems. The first one is by a Buddhist monk named Thich Nhat Hanh. Very beautiful monk. I won't read the whole thing. I am a frog swimming happily in the clear water of a pond. I am also the grass snake who, approaching in silence, feeds itself on the frog. I am the child in Uganda, all skin and bones, my legs as thin as bamboo sticks. I am also the merchant of arms selling deadly weapons to Uganda. I am the 12-year-old girl refugee in a small boat who throws herself into the ocean after being R-worded by a slave sea pirate. I am also the pirate, my heart not yet capable of seeing and loving. My joy is like spring, so warm it makes flowers bloom in all walks of life. My pain is like a river of tears, so full it fills up all the four oceans. Call me by my correct names, so that I can hear at the same time all my cries and all my laughs, so that I could see that my joy and pain are one. Please call me by my correct names, so that I could become awake, so the door of my heart be left open, the door of compassion. All my names. The quality of love has no boundaries. I think this is Ram Dass talking now. There is no other in love. There is no other. There is us at one level, and at the deeper level, there is only I. We are merged in love. Call me by my true names. The other quote is still in dualism, but it's on the edge. It's a quote from the poet Kabir. Since the day when I met with my Lord, there has been no end to the sport of our love. I see with eyes open and smile and behold his beauty. Everywhere I utter his name, and whatever I see, it reminds me of him. Whatever I do, it becomes his worship. Wherever I go, I remove around him. All I achieve is his service. When I lie down, I lie prostrate at his feet. Whether I rise or sit down, I can never forget him, for the rhythm of his music beats in my ears. Now, in the states of awareness where you see there is one, there are no boundaries, there are no separatenesses. And then as that one starts to come into form as separate, you look at these separate forms, and it has taken with a quality of awe and wonder when you're looking from there. And when you're looking from the point between what's called the form and the formless, it's right at the edge. And you look down at form or out at form or up at form. I don't know, there's no direction. You just look at them and you see the absolute awful beauty of form. You see, as Plato talks about it, the law that you appreciate as what you call God oftentimes is just all form in law. It's all lawfully related. It's called the Tao in Chinese, the way of things. It's the way in which all forms are related to all other forms. And you look and you see it's perfect. You can look in physics or chemistry or astronomy or astrology or psychology or music or wherever you look, you begin to see that forms are related to all other forms, all in lawful ways. Ram Dass says, my guru in India used to say to me, Ram Dass, don't you see it's all perfect? He says, I would say, perfect. Perfect. What about Bangladesh? What about Africa? What about tyranny? What about violence? What about greed? Don't you see it's all perfect? Can't you step back for a moment from your humanity to see the way of things? Can't you see the way it's all lawfully unfolding? The question is, have you the courage to see what you're seeing? Or does it seem to take away from your humanity? Because when you look and you say it's all perfect, the problem is it's so impersonal. Somebody falls down in front of you and you say, karma, see? There's no warmth to it. But if you come down into your human heart, the pain is unbearable because there's so much suffering everywhere. And you look and there's thievery, there's unspeakable acts of horror, and there's ecological insensitivity, and there's tyranny, and there's terrorism, and there's, but which one is it first? Starvation, the homeless? Who is it? Where does your heart go first? And what most people do is they close their heart and they armor it to protect it from the immense amount of suffering. They armor it with their mind, their thoughts, with a web or a net or a belief system or a veil of thought that armors the heart so they don't get hurt and overwhelmed by the immensity of the suffering. Because you know how when your child hurts, you give anything to stop it. And the quality of the heart is the heart has no boundaries. My heart goes out to you is the expression the heart will give. The heart doesn't know boundaries. The mind knows boundaries. The heart says, here, take my automobile, take my apartment, take anything. And the mind is saying, now, wait a minute, be reasonable. And there's an interesting dialogue that goes on within us. And so this armoring protects not only our hearts from the amount of suffering outside, but it protects our separateness from our heart, which would give away our separateness. The heart would give away everything. Give away everything. And so the interesting question is, how do you keep your heart open in hell? And what does it mean to be in love with the world? And what does it mean in action? What do you do? The answer lies again in the statement, at least the answer that I have found thus far, that there's nowhere to stand. That if you stand only in your humanity, it's unbearable. If you stand in the area of perfection, it's impersonal. If you get them both going at once, it is the root of what I understand true compassion to be. About it is something where, unlike Job, which questions God at some point, you do what you do because your human heart hurts and you want to do what you can to relieve the suffering of the people you love. And at the same moment, there's not a flicker in you uh, as to it is all as it must be. And so Our heart accepts everything. It accepts your pain. It accepts the pain of others. And there's just another part of you just looking at the universe as it is saying, yeah, and this too, and this too. And so it's a path, and you have to take it one step at a time because your heart has all the answers. All right. So just wanted to share that from Ram Dass. And I think that is everything that I have for you here today. So I hope that this was helpful. And I hope that you'll continue to entrain into the heart. I hope you'll use those affirmations for abundance. And it's just realizing that it is your true nature. That's why lack of abundance doesn't feel good, because it's off. It feels off. Even the most acute falling off of the organization of the matter of your body feels like pain. You just put one little needle into your skin and that disrupts the organization of the skin molecules and it goes, ow. It's the same thing with lack of abundance. It feels like ow because it's not properly organized. Your proper organization is that you are abundant. You are free. You are bliss, happiness, peace, fulfillment, because that's the nature of God, and God is all. And so I hope you'll tune into the heart because that's where God lives. God doesn't live in the churches or in the books made by men. God's in your heart, truly. And the divine can be seen within all other human beings, but you have to find it within you first. And so, yeah, was this helpful? I sure hope it was. All right, I'll end the recording here and I'll talk with the private group. Make sure to like the video, comment if you have any questions. If you want to join these every week on Wednesday, you can just let me know that you'd like to join. And yeah, thanks for subscribing. I hope you got something out of this. I love you. I'll see you soon. Peace.